guys, I chose to read the book The Future of Life by Edward O. Wilson. To start off with, my name is Rachel Bagnall. I'm a sophomore at the University of Missouri where I'm studying agricultural education. I'm in this class because it's required for me, so here I am, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into the information and start. I want to tell you a little bit about the author. Edward O. Wilson is a well-known author that focuses on biology and ecology of our planet. Wilson is an excellent writer. Over the years, he has received numerous awards for his profound work. Now you may be wondering why I chose to read this book. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, it was solely based off of the title. When reading that title, my mind goes to many different places. The future of life. You know, you consider flying cars, or are we talking about the advancements and adaptations of humans and our planet and where things stand in today's society? But that is for you to decide. So the future of life is honestly a fantastic book. It gives you an overview of what we started with in our planet to the limitations that our planet can withstand. Wilson provides an interesting viewpoint on how we can help save our planet. He gives the reader a background knowledge regarding the basic units of life, from the smallest organisms that are practically invisible to the human eye. This starts a more in-depth viewpoint of our planet regarding the vast differences between organisms, the number of species, and the information of the origin of the organisms. Which, discussing the different organisms, this hits hard with extinction. Some of the species due to particular predators. With extinction of different species, this leads to concerns about Earth's limitations, for example, the cause and effect of climate change or deforestation. But Wilson ends his book with a resolution for this growing problem of damage on our planet. To simply not overutilize our resources, and to find ways to meet everyone's needs, but simply we need to be thinking long-term rather than short-term. As we dive into my favorite parts of the book, there are a few parts that really interested me. For example, Earth's growing population causes. Earth's growing population causes. So, harm to our Earth's treasures, from water, organisms, to soil and nutrients. A lot of times we're overpopulated, and so we're overworking that soil, or we are overusing cars, which is causing climate change and all these different problems, and we're simply damaging our air, we're damaging the soil and the nutrients, and so at some point we're not going to be able to continue to produce as much wholesome and nutrient-rich foods. And Wilson mentioned an interesting statistics regarding the Earth's ability to grow enough food or have enough water to nourish the growing population. He said, if soil erosion and withdrawal of groundwater continue at their present rates until the world population reaches at 9 to 10 billion, shortage of food seems inevitable. And this really makes you think about it and consider, what resources are we using? How can we limit using these resources, but at the same time meet everyone's needs and end hunger? My second point was global warming causes. I feel like these two topics tie together, and it's all due to the effects of humans, with the problems and effects. With Earth's ability to continue to obtain the necessary nutrients from water and food due to the production of greenhouse gases. Wilson made a comment talking about it's further reasonably certain that the thickening of greenhouse gases is due to good measure to industrial activity and the cutting and burning of forest. And so when he's talking about this, we're talking about, are we have all of our lights on all the time, every day? Are we driving our cars everywhere around town when we could be walking or we could be taking the bus? And so he's talking about ways that we can limit this and help limit climate change. Now, you may be wondering why I chose these two topics, but the whole point of those two topics was that this is the honest truth. And no one really stops and talks about the honest truth, because us humans are the ones who are causing damage to our planet. And so it really intrigued me because Wilson took the time to talk about the truth and to really lay it out flat for you and really make you stop and think about it. So with that point, you may be wondering the impact and the overall big picture of this. But it simply is that this is affecting everyone, because this is our planet. This is where we live, this is where we eat, sleep, grow, live our happy lives. So once we outuse all of our resources in our planet, we're no longer going to have anywhere to eat, sleep, and survive. There'll be a lack of food, water, resources in general, and healthy, clean air. So it's really important that we stop and we think about the big picture for long term, and we need to be finding a solution. And so you may be stopping and wondering, how can I help? How can I limit this and really help find a solution so we can save our planet and ourselves? And so one way is to help limit greenhouse gases. So like earlier, take the bus a few more times. Don't have all your lights on in your house on all the time. Think of those things. It's the small things that will really add up. Limit deforestation. So that means just, the lack of building less cities, tearing down less of the forest due to paper usage and all these different things, so we can save the trees. We're saving our planet, giving ourselves fresh CO2. And you need to consider the number of resources that you truly need and what you're actually using. So you can keep in mind and you're not overusing those resources where they could be needed somewhere else for another family in another country, or that we can be saving that nutrients, whether it's from the soil or simply the water. So what was learned? One really big thing that struck out to me was the invasive red ant. I personally did not know anything about red ants going into reading this book, but the invasive red ant, it was originally not native to the United States until after pre-human years, and the red ant is known for being largely dominant predator of insects and smaller animals. I never knew what they consumed, and so that was really interesting. And Wilson also mentioned that they are also among the preeminent scavengers of dead bodies and turners of soil. They equal or surpass the earthworms, which is really surprising because earthworms are a really big component with breaking down dead leaves, breaking through that topsoil within our ground. And then another thing was just the overall in-depth statistics throughout the entire book. It was fun-filled, packed with information and facts throughout the entire book. There was never a page that did not surprise you with some new information. For example, the Challenger Deep Mediterranean Trench is 35,750 feet deep. Never knew that going into this. And then lastly, the real big pointer of this, finding that solution to help us save our planet. So overall, Wilson's comments were for everyone to take time and evaluate your personal effects on Earth. So it's every amount of change can help, but it's really important that we're thinking of that big picture and we're using only what's necessary. And in conclusion, overall, I feel like this book had a solid foundation of information and left me having learned new stuff. But it's really important because Wilson talks about the unspoken truths that people choose not to think of. So Wilson came up with a few ways to truly help save our world from an interesting viewpoint. I highly recommend this book to everyone. The Future of Life will help put into perspective the cause and effect that each thing has on each other. And here's my reference page. Thank you.